I guess I should introduce myself so everyone knows who I am. That seems like a thing I should do. I like to introduce myself, but not include like any basic demographic stuff that people usually include, like where you're from, your ethnicity, what you do for work. So, my name is Josie, and I am a naturally curious and creative optimist. I find the most fulfillment and joy when I am outside, when I am surrounded by trees, mountains, the ocean especially, and I get a deep sense of fulfillment when I challenge myself, like mentally, physically. I am a very sentimental person. I don't need that much to be happy. I'm a very simple person, very easy to please, I feel, but also not in a way. That's me. So let's get into the rest of the video. I am so excited. This is going to be my first YouTube video. And honestly, I've done some brainstorming, but I don't really know how it's going to go. So bear with me on this journey that I'm on. Today, I want to give just a basic background foundation for what I want this channel to be, and kind of my background with travel and kind of how it all started. I have a little post-it note right here so I can stay on track with what I'm gonna say. Let's roll back way long ago when little baby Josie was in high school. In 2019, I graduated from Kahuku High School on Oahu, Hawaii. When I was a senior, I knew I wanted to go somewhere else for college. I knew I wanted to leave. I knew I didn't want to stay on Oahu for school. And everyone was like, why would you not want to stay? Like, you're literally living in paradise. Why would you want to leave? And it's the same thing of just not wanting to go to college where you grew up. And I felt like I couldn't really get those new experiences that I was wanting for college on Oahu. And I chose to go to BYU Provo. And because my dad works at BYUH, we get half tuition at any of the BYU schools. So it was honestly like really good deal for quality education. Flew out to Utah in 2019, and after having lived on an island for like the past 7 years or something, it was a really big change, not just culturally, but like the environment and like climate wise. The first semester I was there, me and some high school friends just started road tripping just sporadically to the national parks around Utah. So it was a really good break-in to just that road trip life, because I'd never really road tripped before, at least as far as I can remember. I loved it. Sure, I was like mostly in the backseat just like eating snacks and sleeping, but I loved it. Like, I love being in the car for hours. I love seeing all the views and just driving to a completely different place and exploring it for the weekend. Like, it was the best way I could have possibly spent my days in Utah. Looking back, I can kind of see these like nomadic traveler tendencies and like traveler mindsets even before I started traveling a lot. I definitely think growing up on Oahu taught me to live very simply, because when you're living on an island, it's like you don't really have access to that much. It's almost like a third world country in a way. And I lived on the North Shore, so it, was like not in town at all, like very rural. Living there for as long as I did taught me that I can be happy with very little. As long as I am outside, have good food and good company, like that is literally all that I need to be happy. I had one fully normal semester before COVID hit, and I was in Zoom University for a good chunk of the semester and the summer. And even though it sucked, obviously it was unfortunate not being in person, Zoom and being through and doing majority of my college through Zoom, it gave me this freedom and liberation that I was like, oh, I can do whatever I want, wherever I want to. Like, listening to lectures on the beach, I'm like, of course I would want to do that. Like, why would I want to be locked up in a classroom? That as well kind of gave me this little taste of kind of what nomadic life could have been, or what nomadic life could be. Looking back, I can definitely see, the little bits and little pieces that have kind of shaped my now perspective and the things that I crave and that I look for in work and in life. Sophomore year of college, I was an RA, still during COVID. still traveled a bit. And mind you, I did not have a car all throughout college, but I was still able to travel so much and just see so much of Utah and like the West, just because I was able to meet friends that had cars and I was always down for everything. Summer of 2021, that summer was a very transitional summer because that was the summer that I got really, really, really into surfing. I know most people know me for climbing and rocks and all of that, but surfing is my first love. Definitely a surfer at heart, and then I'm a rock climber. Summer of 2021, I was surfing a lot every day. I remember this one time I was surfing at Castles, which was a beach super close to my house that was within walking distance. And I was out like kind of past the break, past like the big group of people, just doing my thing, just kind of like chilling, just catching waves. And there was this older guy that like approached me on a surfboard, and he was like, "Hey, like you're really good at surfing." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like I'd never had anyone like compliment me like that before in relation to like a sport or something, because that was the first time I'd gotten really, really into a sport that like wasn't speech and debate and theater in high school, that I felt like I was really good at, but just didn't get the validation. And so that was the first time I got it, and I was like, "Oh, this is new." I asked him, I was like, "Oh, are you a surf instructor?" And he said, "Yes, actually, I own my own surf company, and we're actually looking to hire surf instructors. Would you be interested?" I was like 20 at the time. I was like, "Whoa, I have never done this before. No way I'm qualified for this." But I was like, "You know what? Sure. Why not? Why not? Like, why not get paid to do what I love?" And so he scratched my number in the wax of his surfboard. And then he was like, "All right, I'll call you when we're going to meet up." And I was like, "Okay." So then he texted me like a few days later. He's like, "Hey, can you meet here at 8 a.m.? We have a couple that wants to learn to surf." And I was like, "Oh, we're just going in the deep end. Like, I'm not even getting any training at all." Like, honestly, that is the most like island thing ever. They're like, "All right, you're hired. Teach these people how to surf right now." I loved it so much. And I think that also, just the opportunity I had to do something that I loved and that I was passionate about and also get paid for it, that totally opened my eyes to be like, "Oh my gosh, like I can make money just doing my hobbies," basically. I know there's like a Japanese proverb called ikigai, similar to like your purpose, but it's like something you're good at, something you're passionate about, something the world needs, and something that makes you money. Kind of like the Venn diagram and like the overlay of all those things is like your ikigai or your purpose. And that felt like it was my ikigai. I was like, I love surfing. I am so passionate about surfing, and I can get paid to do it. Like, of course I'd want to do that. Like, why wouldn't I want to take an opportunity like that? That experience early on when I was 20 definitely gave me the perspective of, oh, I can enjoy what I do for work. I can love what I do and also make money in the process. Then we get to fall semester of 2021. Now, that is a very big transitional period in my life, mainly because it was my first introduction to rock climbing outside. And it was also when me and two of my other very, very close friends just started traveling all over the West. And that is going to be the next video. But yeah, I am so excited to talk about my journey with rock climbing, my journey with traveling, the lessons that I've learned. I am just so stoked to have it all in one place.